Hi there and welcome to Tech Talk. This week's letter comes from a Mr. E. coli. What he says was, could the Earth actually be flat rather than round? I mean, after all, if you live on a ball, I mean, somebody must be upside down, right? Have you ever felt upside down? No, or even sideways. I mean, how could you go sideways? Like, all the water would be running out one ear when you went in the shower. It never happens, right? Never happens. The following points are just small things you'd have to discount in order to prove the flat Earth theory, but it could be done. So here we go. Plate tectonics. You know, that obviously doesn't work on a flat biscuit-like Earth. You can't have plate tectonics because of the lack of depth needed to generate pressure and heat and such like that drives the whole tectonic process. Similarly, magma generation. I mean, the volcano went off here the other day, but perhaps that's just coincidence. You know, maybe it's nothing to do with magma. Maybe it's a couple of guys underneath with big blowpipes, and they're just doing that. You know, that could work too. The magnetic field that surrounds the Earth, all the northern light, that could just be fairy lights from Alibaba. You know, they're really cheap these days. Maybe it's not a magnetic field that stops the bombardment of radiation from outer space coming to the Earth and wiping out life as we know it. The great circles for navigation, well, you know, people have said you get a globe out and you measure it, and that's the reason that people fly the polar route across, you know, from Japan to Europe, for example, rather than going around the equator. But they could just be making that up. I mean, you're not in the cockpit, you don't really know what's going on there, do you? Just because all the other planets are all round, that doesn't necessarily mean that our planet has to be round, you know. Different is beautiful. There is gravity, of course, and it does work. Gravity, you have to admit that, you know, you drop stuff, it generally goes. If you looked at our last video, you know, stuff goes down even when it's light and floaty. But discounting plate tectonics, gravity, magma generation, metamorphic rocks, magnetic field, the great circles of navigation, and the fact that every other planet in the solar system is round, there's almost no reason why the Earth couldn't be flat. And Mr. E. coli, who wrote this, I think you should be the one who gets in the boat and sails off and takes a picture of that waterfall going over the rim at the edge, preferably from the bottom. How are you doing that slidey thing?